Today is November 16th, 2017, and I just wanted to record this video to talk about how I learned writing and how I learned teaching writing, because a student asked me about that in the short editing assignment that I've just almost finished grading, and I was very flattered. And I think we don't talk about ourselves as writers enough generally, and it hasn't come up in this online class that often either, but it has, because of your short editing assignment, and I think I'll do this again. This is my first time to try it in a graduate class, and I think I might give the option of it being more public, so you hear each other talking about your own writing, because I think that's really valuable and very hard. So I wanted to I guess talk about my journey as a writer a little bit. I was always good at writing, I think because I read a lot, and my dad was a good writer, and I was predisposed to be able to do it, and I got rewarded for it in high school. I was fine in my English major classes in college. I was never asked to revise anything in college, and I think that's amazing that in my lifetime I was taught writing without there being any revising involved, because I think that's essential. I barely got any feedback. I think the one piece of feedback I remember from a college paper is that I switched to verb tenses when I was writing about literature, and it hadn't occurred to me that that was something to pay attention to, so I started paying attention to it. And I think that was basically the only thing. I went to graduate school, and for a PhD program, there are basically two major phases. One is coursework, where you're writing papers for courses and you're going to class, obviously, and then dissertation writing. And I got a little bit of feedback on my papers in courses. I might have had to revise something. Well, basically, you start a project, and then it might develop into a bigger project, and so there's a lot of revision that goes on in those stages, but I didn't really do anything like that until my master's thesis, and I did get some feedback on my writing, and I'd probably be embarrassed. I know I'd be embarrassed to read it now. But then I really, I took some rhetoric and writing graduate courses and got some advice, mostly, and I don't think I've talked about this yet, mostly from one Patricia Roberts Miller, who was my dissertation advisor. I took her for some classes and really liked her. She had a writing group, a dissertation writing group of other grad students working with her, and she was very popular to work with. So it was a good use of her time for everyone to meet and for us to give each other our writing in progress. Once a week we would read someone's submission. So you would submit your writing 2 times a semester maybe, and it was incredibly painful at first. Everyone in the group was further along than me in their dissertation, and I felt like such an idiot, and their writing was beautiful and mine was really rough and sounded amateurish. After 3 years, I finally felt, I started to feel more confident in what I could produce, and started feeling more confident in the advice I could give other people about what I saw in their writing and their thinking, really. So getting in the habit of making my writing public and showing other people my writing in progress was one of the most excruciating processes I've been through, but the most essential. I would not have finished my dissertation if not for this group of writing students. I worked in the writing center when I was in graduate school for a couple years, and I learned how to talk about sentences by working in the writing center, and then I learned about it so I could teach writing better. I was doing that at the same time too, teaching freshman composition. And I had to learn the names of parts of speech, and I had to learn terms for describing writing. And just by doing it and having to sit down with the writer and being able to diagnose and talk about options for style, that helped a lot. Also, I just, studying rhetoric and writing and reading even classical rhetorical text about style, um, um, and they really meant style in speaking, not even style in writing. I just thought about good models. I've read, tons of writing by other people, and I've been able to teach myself to discern between writing that I think is really good and well written. It's clear, it's beautiful, it's, literary, versus writing that I don't think is as good. And there's tons of bad writing in academia. There's an article I mentioned to the student in a note, but there's an article, not even an article, more like an essay, that I won't make you read, but I can give you the citation if you're interested. It's by Gerald Graff of They Say, I Say fame, and it's about how bad writing is in academia and how it's unnecessarily complex and wordy. And that's what Joseph Williams writes about too. He's an academic, and he's definitely writing about other academics, about how bad their writing is. And I've really internalized Graff and Williams. They've probably been the writers that have been most influential on my own writing. So I've that advice is second nature to me, and I'm able to spot those things in others and give them feedback about it. So I have thought about my writing and definitely had it critiqued over the years, which has helped. And I can't write as beautifully as some people who I admire, some of my friends, bloggers, some academic writers, definitely novelists, poets. I can't write like that, but I strive for clarity, and I try to understand where students are coming from, or whoever. I'm thinking about my reader and my audience all the time. That's the foundation of rhetoric, after all. So y'all have told me about your own foibles, or what you recognize about your own writing in your short editing exercise, and I just wanted to share mine too. I loved seeing your revisions. Y'all did such a great job on that. Like I said, I don't think I've tried this exercise in a graduate class before, but I'm definitely going to try to work it in. So I think we should talk openly about our writing with people. Creative writers are really good at doing that, and I like that kind of workshop atmosphere. I wish it was more of an option, or more of a priority for people who are into writing or teaching writing, because I think getting it out there and opening yourself up for feedback is so important. So remember that you have peer review due this weekend if you are watching this in fall of 2017. So thanks for listening to me talk about myself, and good luck in your future writing and revising projects.